morning. Well, I've had messages today that in our beautiful town of Boronovo, they've had their first thick snow, and it really is thick. It's probably about a foot deep. It's -1 this morning there. We're still on the Cheshire Plains and we still have snow. So it's really lovely. We're out having fun and games in the snow. We've built a snowman. Mr. Ray's loving the winter, aren't you, darling?
Did I ever tell you I hate winter?
He tells us at least 7 times a day. So I've got my nieces with me and we're building snowmen and we're also tobogganing. This is the guy who hates the snow. Go and save your father. I knew 5 minutes out and he'd be playing. Okay, let's see how far he goes. Go, Mr. Ray.
Hi, we're Caroline and Ian, a couple who 5 years ago sold up our house and our possessions and moved full-time into living in a van.
So for anybody who doesn't know us or is new to the channel, we thought we'd do a bit of a catch-up.
You did indeed, yes.
So we have 4 children and we now have 7 grandchildren. I was a nurse for 38 years.
I was a foster carer and adoptee dad, if you like, and things got not so clever, everybody knows, during the pandemic and what have you, and at that time our life was a bit rough, but we'll not go into that. What we came to a point where we sold our house and we started a new adventure, living in a van.
And that's where the vlog began. So the original idea was for family and friends. Instead of us keeping repeating ourselves, they could watch it. So for all of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. I think we're up to 420 now. For all of you who've watched, we've done 43,000 watches. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's absolutely free. I had a desire to get to 400. Now I have desire to get to 600. So yeah, family, friends, just tell everybody to subscribe. It costs them nothing, and it helps us out amazingly. Also gives you that input. Thank you as well for everybody who has ever commented on the vlogs. That is so nice. When you're feeling lonely, you see the comments and you just know people are travelling with you. So thank you very much.
And to all those who give us inspiration as well, who've also already done this journey. Because one of the reasons why we decided that we'd start vlogging our journeys and things was because if there was anybody else who was in the same predicament, people are starting to want to go abroad in vans and things and don't really know what all that entails. They get conflicting views and whether they can do it, they can't do it, etc. So so we just did a vlog of what it's like being abroad,
mainly the problems and how to avoid them. So
travelling around Europe for 5 years is fairly tiring, to be honest. It's a fantastic lifestyle doing motorhoming, absolutely brilliant. And we found that once we'd got abroad and we'd actually come from England into Europe, that the way that they got it set up, it was so easy. It was really, really easy. But our journey started to go further and further down, where we ended up doing a journey around Turkey, and we ended up round Greece, and then next minute we found ourselves in Bulgaria.
So I think the furthest place we've been is to the border of Syria from home, and the highest temperature we've been in is 42 degrees, and the lowest temperature we've been in is -10. So as Ian said, we found ourselves in Bulgaria, and the reason that we chose Bulgaria was because of its position in Europe. So from the house that we've bought, we can be in Romania in about 5 hours, we can be in Greece in 2 hours, and we can be in Turkey in an hour and a half. So it gave us lots and lots of opportunity. Serbia also touches it, so we can go into Serbia as well. So it was a really nice position wise. That was one of its bonuses.
Well, to be honest, one of the other things that attracted us to Bulgaria was at the time it wasn't in the EU.
No.
So, for those who don't know about travelling and stuff, you are allowed to go into Europe and stay in Europe for 90 days.
That's the whole of Europe,
That's
not just one country.
Yeah. So that's not 90 days in France, then 90 days in Germany, etc. It's the whole of Europe. So what it meant was that as you travelled down from France down to Bulgaria, once you got into Bulgaria, your 90 days started again, and you could spend a whole 90 days. But unfortunately, 2025, they've just joined the Schengen. So that is going to have its own problems for anyone who's travelling.
One of the other reasons we chose Bulgaria was the cost of living there is incredibly cheap. Houses were very cheap, and we're just going to see how this pans out with the cost of living, because as Ian mentioned, they've now become Schengen. That means that they will adopt the euro, and it may be that our lifestyles change a little, because when we've seen with other countries such as Croatia joining Europe and having the euro, their prices went up. So very, very interesting what the next year is going to bring.
I think because Bulgaria is so low economy wise and everything, I think that they've got a bit of work to do first to bring up the economy before they take the euro on. Because of the difficulties, and they had the same kind of difficulties in Romania. It took them a short while to start working towards getting the euro, so we'll keep our eye on that one and see how that goes. But a lot of people who do go out, and maybe it might be something that we look at, is that you try and go as best self-sustaining as you can. So we might become farmers.
I don't think so.
We've
done that before. But that leads us nicely into the other thing, is that the people of Bulgaria are so accommodating.
No, indeed.
They help us with our language, correct us when we're wrong, and try and help us to say things properly. They are so generous. So because they know we're not growing in our village at the moment, we very, very often get parcels of vegetables, fruits, salads given to us.
Do we look that bad?
They must think we need feeding up. So yeah, the people of Bulgaria have just been amazing for us. And also the land of Bulgaria, it's a very, very fruitful land, but it's also a very, very varied land. So we have mountains, we have seaside, we have lakes, so much so that this year we are not going to come back to the UK. We are going to spend the whole 12 months travelling and really enjoying Bulgaria and taking in its history and more of its culture.
So you'll turn around and say, how is that possible?
Well, we have some very, very exciting news to tell you. So this news has taken almost 2 years in the making to get to this stage. And the big news is that I am an Irish citizen.
Where?
So top of the morning to you all, officially.
Stop river dancing.
So my grandfather was Irish, and it is, like I say, taken 2 years for the application, getting all the paperwork together, sending it to Ireland, being approved. And at the moment, we're still in the UK waiting for my Irish passport to come through. Now, this is amazing because...
Well, you might ask, well, how does that work with me? And the thing is that when Caroline gets her Irish passport as her spouse, I can continue to travel with her under the same rules.
So that basically means now we are both European citizens and can now stay in Bulgaria for as long as we want. So we are so excited. We can now choose to leave when we want to leave instead of crying on the videos that our 90 days are up and we have to leave. So this has led us to decide we have got a lot of projects that we would like to do and share with you in 2025.
Well, the first thing, hopefully, we'll be going and getting our residency, I think.
Yes.
So that then once we've got a residence card, then we can start actually settling into Bulgaria properly.
Yeah. So once we've got a residence card, it's easier with getting a car and registering a car. It's also entitles us to some healthcare allowances. So yeah, so that's what we're doing.
So we might not have mentioned on this vlog so far, but we actually got a house when we went travelling through Bulgaria last time. So in February of last year, we became the owners of a home, and this is the reason why we want to get the residency and the reason why we want the Irish passport, because we want to be in Bulgaria. So the first things that we've got to do before we do anything else is that we did put a couple of things into storage, and we've got to try and get them into the van, and we've got to try and get back to Bulgaria without falling over everything, having everything drop on our heads, and with Delilah, our Bernese mountain dog, being able to at least be comfortable on the journey back.
So we'll show you that once we fill the van. We really did keep hold of only a few very, very precious items. For me, those precious items were 2 chairs, antique chairs that had been passed down to us, a couple of clocks, and unfortunately 2 pieces of artwork which are huge. When I say huge, very heavy, tall statues. So they're coming back. What are you bringing back, Mr. A?
Well, I've got 3 guitars, 2 amplifiers.
Mixing desk.
Yeah, possibly, as long as it's still there, yeah. There's musical stuff, and to be honest, it's been that long since they've been in that lockup. I'm not sure what they are, but there are only a few things, but they are going to cloudy up the van, aren't they?
They're very big and they're very heavy, and I forgot to say my sewing machine as well, which I'm
yes, your sewing machine.
very excited about.
Which means that one of the things that we're going to do this year, a project, is...
Well, we have 5 projects planned for the house. The first project we're going to do, because it won't really cost any money but time and effort, is the barn that attaches to the house. We are going to change into a craft room. So very, very excited about that. There's a couple of big pieces of art I'd like to do, and unfortunately the dining room table is not big enough. And yeah, I'm really excited for you to see. What I realised was that it's like an integral part of me doing craft. It's so rewarding, and it just makes me feel calm. It makes me feel centered. It also will get me out the house, and Mr. A can have some time on his own with his new guitars.
Well, I'm hoping that your craft room is a bit more crafty and upmarket than my music room that I've got, because I've got a small glitter ball in my music room.
I'm not having a glitter ball in my craft room. No way.
I don't know what possessed me to get that, to be honest.
So out of the 5 projects, that is one of the first that we're going to do. Now, the next ones are going to run quite close together, and that's because for the next 2 projects, we need a digger.
Yeah, and I don't mean me with the shovel and spade either, because I don't think that's going to work. You need a proper digger.
So we are going to have a swimming pool built. Now, you may think that this is really la-di-da having a swimming pool, and it is, and we know that it's a really, really we've extravagance, and we're really grateful. The problem we have is I don't do heat, and I didn't realize how hot Bulgaria was, and you know from the videos I love to wild swim. So I was swimming in the lake, the river that runs near the village.
Until you saw that snake.
Snakes in the water. Also, the villagers think I'm a nutter because they don't swim in the river. Now, I didn't mind them thinking I was a nutter, but the problem was, as it got hotter and hotter, the river got lower and lower and lower until it was stinking. I'm not going to cope another summer in the heat. So we've got a beautiful big garden. So we're going to hire a digger and we're going to dig a pool. The second part of this
is with the same digger.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to dig a piece at the side in order so that we can put the bus by the side. Well, when I say the bus, I mean motorhome, but part of the motorhome up at the side so that it can be used really as another accommodation for people who want to come out. Anyone's more than welcome, but to have accommodation for people to stay in. And then also we've got to dig down the side of the house,
the garage.
Yeah, because in my music studio I've actually got some of the walls are beginning to crumble because the damp's getting through, so we need to do the barrier to that.
So we're going to remove part of the garden, build a retaining wall, and make some different steps going into that part of the garden. So that is project 2.
Is that 2, 3?
No, that's 2.5. 2 and 2.5. Project 3 is in the same area where the pine trees are. We're going to build a wooden pagoda. Okay, we may
see my woodwork.
We may get people in to build a wooden pagoda, so we'll do all the cutting if they allow us and help, but I don't know. So the problem we've got again is with the heat. So we had a gazebo and it was so hot even under the gazebo. The other thing is we have very bad storms, as you will see in the other vlog that we put out with a hailstone. And unfortunately, every time there's a storm, we have to run out. We have to take the cover off the gazebo. So we're going to go for a permanent wooden structure like the local people have.
Yes, but we're still going to have to have a look at it properly because that can really warp in the heat. So these are the things that we've got to keep our eye on.
Right.
To see what kind of treatment the wood needs. And other things.
We'll ask the locals. And then the final project is that bit at the back, which I never knew what to do with, and we ended up putting the hot tub there. We're actually going to make it into a bigger area, and we are hopefully going to get a sauna.
So that it can be used during the winter. Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to make the garden winterproof, and also we know we're going to stay here forever. And
we'll stay there. We're not there yet.
Yeah. So we're just trying to make it as comfortable as we can for ourselves, also for visitors that come and family. So these are our 5 projects. So we're hoping that you'll be able to join us and see how not to dig a pool and how not
to put pieces of wood together, because I can't do that.
Yeah. So we're really excited about going back, and we're just so grateful, and we do feel totally privileged. This isn't a life that we would have thought. We only at one point had a backyard, so we know that we are very privileged to be in this position.
Yeah, to be honest, you never know what's going to happen. We set off on when we actually got the van, when we after we'd bought the van, the person who we bought it from said, "Oh, bring it back in the year once you've got it out of your system, and and there'll be no problems getting rid of the van again." And here we are, 5 years on, and now with a complete new adventure ahead.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you to everybody who takes the time to to watch us crazy idiots doing what we're doing.
But also follow your dreams. Honestly, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can always come back, or you can always have a plan B. But I just, we never believed that we would be in the position we are in now.
Well, the position that we're in at the moment is we're treading water because we're waiting for Caroline's passport to come. But along with the getting her Irish passport, she's had to send her English passport away. So that's the reason why, if you see us around over the next month or so, we've already been here. How many?
Since October.
October.
We left the house in September. We arrived here in October, 6 weeks after leaving, and we've been here since. So, yeah. So, it's not always plain sailing, but definitely follow your dreams.
You have to crack some eggs to make omelettes, they say.
I'm excited for 2025, so come and join us and see what we get up to.
And thank you for watching.